Welcome back to the Wrestle Show. On this episode, I'm going to try and start a series of basically a monthly state of the WWE, and basically my ideas on what's going good with the product and what's been going bad with the product. And so, first off, I'd like to start off with what's going bad with the product, in my opinion. I'm just a fan. I'm not some professional, so I really, I could be completely off base here. But these are just my opinions, and as a fan, I think I have a right to them. So, first off, Raw. As I mentioned before in a similar kind of episode, Raw is entirely too long. They don't have enough to fill it. They don't seem to have enough people to fill it or enough talent in the writers to be able to fill it. 3 hours, and it just drags on and on and on. For 2 weeks in a row, I've wanted to fast forward through it. Only watching it in case something big happens so I can report it here. I don't understand why they're continuing with the 3-hour time slot. It's annoying, it's boring, and they never get anything accomplished. Take yesterday's episode, for example. Or not really yesterday's episode, but I watched it yesterday. Monday's episode. And it was boring as hell from start to finish. The only entertaining part at all was really when the Miz and Dean Ambrose interacting. And I hate watching the Miz. The Miz drives me insane. Can't stand watching it. But to me, it was one of the worst episodes since Kurt Angle was named GM to the product, to the Raw product a few weeks ago. So if you ask me, it needs to change. Raw is just entirely too long. It needs to go back to 2 hours like it used to be, just like SmackDown. And maybe they could find a way to run the cruiserweights, like I said before, run the cruiserweights on the third hour. Let them be the 7 Central to 8 Central time slot. And then let from, 8 Central to 10 Central, let that be Raw or something, because it is just not worth watching to me sometimes. Yesterday's episode, I understand that it was taped and that it was from the UK, and maybe they just didn't put on good of a show. I don't know. All I know is it was boring as hell, and I didn't even watch half of it before I ended up staring at my computer trying to find something else to do. Also, the Women's Revolution. The Women's Revolution seems to have fizzled. There seems to be nothing to it. Really, they've gone back to having the women run the same kind of stories that they were running, when they were just doing when they were doing the Divas thing, where the Divas weren't really fighting much. They weren't really, doing much. They were just bickering back and forth, pulling each other's hair, and it's not wrestling as much as it used to be, as much as it was when they first started this thing last year or so. And I don't know what it is. They have some of the most talented female wrestlers in, at least in America, right there on the show, on both shows, Raw and SmackDown. They both have a lot of talent. Yet they just sit there and they bicker and they moan. That's all they do. They don't fight. They don't wrestle hardly, it seems like. It seems like all they do is complain about each other. Now, there's got to come a point where that stops, right? Please tell me it stops. I would love them to get back to the actual wrestling in the women's division instead of just this bickering that they have going on Raw and SmackDown between the women. You've got women not being, the women on SmackDown complaining because Charlotte came. And that's all they're doing. They're interfering in each other's matches. Now they're going to have a 6-woman tag match at the next pay-per-view? How boring. How about a match for the freaking title? How about a 6-woman match for the title? Not a tag match, but how about a 6-women, Armageddon style match or something that they used to have with the Hell in Cell matches? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. But that's just how I see it. As for what's going good with the product, as of late, I have not seen a lot. But I will say I have enjoyed the storyline between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, even though Braun Strowman's kind of injured right now, and Roman Reigns is a little bit beat up after that last pay-per-view match they had. But I have enjoyed watching that particular storyline unfold. It's been kind of entertaining, and they're kind of running seems like they're running two storylines with that, because you've got, Kalisto and Braun Strowman, you've got Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. And the Kalisto thing of it's actually kind of entertaining, especially with Kalisto beating Braun Strowman in that dumpster match a few weeks ago. Although I find myself cheering sometimes for Braun Strowman more than Roman Reigns. And I have nothing against Roman Reigns. I just I kind of like the character of Braun Strowman. This no nonsense, very violent, vicious character. I'm kind of digging the character, I guess you'd say. So that's one of the things I think are going good in the WWE currently. Also, I think NXT is starting to get better again. Unfortunately, Ember Moon did suffer that injury, and it does put a damper on the match that I was looking forward to. But I think the NXT roster is getting better, and I think it'll start improving and getting back to where it was before the WWE main roster raided the NXT roster. But that's one of the few things I find good going on in the WWE today is the way that the NXT roster is improving. You're getting better people. You're also getting people like Hideo Itami came back and all that stuff. And I forget where he is. I don't know if he's on the main roster or not. I haven't seen much of him, but I do know he came back to NXT a while back. And the last good thing I see, and it may not turn out good, but I see it as a good thing right now, is Shinsuke Nakamura. He's been really good. I hate the fact that they're not really having him wrestle much as of yet on the main roster, but apparently they're trying to save him as much as they can for the, I believe, the Backlash pay-per-view. That said, I wish him well, and I wish the WWE product would get better. I wish they would kind of put the fans, think about the fans a little bit more when they're writing, because it gets kind of boring to sit there and watch shows when the writers obviously haven't even tried. So that said, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you agree with any of the things I've had to say, or hell, if you disagree with any of the things I've had to say, please leave a comment down below. And that is all I have for you today. All right.